inspiration to me because I had 5 days of watching how my child died, how she was killed.
Tuscaloosa, Alabama. A young mother's life ended in gunfire not because of a robbery, not because of a long-standing feud, but because she told 2 men she had a boyfriend. Her name was Jamea Harris. She was 23 years old. Jamea was from Birmingham, Alabama. She graduated from Winona High School and worked at Amazon, putting in the hours to provide for her 5-year-old son, Kane. She was described by family as sweet, playful, and full of promise. That night, she was visiting her cousin who attended the University of Alabama. She was with her boyfriend, and they were doing something completely ordinary waiting for food near campus. 2 men approached their car. One of them was Darius Miles, a basketball player for the University of Alabama. The other was Michael Lynn Davis. They started flirting with Jamea. She wasn't interested. She mentioned she had a boyfriend. That should have been the end of it. But it wasn't. Instead of walking away, the men became aggressive. They blocked the car. The situation escalated rapidly. Then, gunfire erupted. Jamea Harris was shot. Her boyfriend, in shock and self-defense, returned fire and injured one of the men. Jamea didn't make it. Police arrived and began their investigation. Witnesses came forward. Surveillance footage from the area captured critical moments. Within hours, Darius Miles and Michael Lynn Davis were arrested and charged with capital murder. Miles was immediately suspended from the basketball team. Both men were held without bond. Before we continue, if you're new to True Crime Tower, subscribe and turn on notifications. We cover cases that need to be heard, and Jamea's story is one of them. Drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. This case raises questions that go beyond the courtroom. Who was Jamea Harris? What exactly happened in those final moments? And what does this tragedy tell us about the violence women face simply for setting boundaries? Stay with us as we break down everything that happened that night. First, let's hear from those who were there, the investigators who worked the case, and the families still fighting for justice.
T-shirt Rob, so the university player, we're told, is one of 2 men originally from the greater D.C. area arrested and charged in the murder of a 23-year-old woman. This was in Alabama this past weekend. That University of Alabama player, he's been identified as Darius Miles. Now, we are still waiting for D.C. Public Schools to confirm this, but it says online that at one point he played basketball at Theodore Roosevelt High School behind us here in Northwest D.C. And also before playing for the university. But I want you to listen to this as well.
I swear, I love you more than you imagine.
That was a tearful Darius Miles getting arrested. 21-year-old Miles of D.C. and 20-year-old Michael Davis of Charles County, Maryland, are facing capital murder charges. Online, it says capital murder can carry a life or death sentence in the state of Alabama. Tuscaloosa Police Chief Jack Kennedy told reporters that around 1:45 Sunday morning, Alabama University police were dispatched to an area by the school's stadium for a female passenger shot. Police said the driver the woman was with returned fire in self-defense, hitting one of the suspects. They have not said which, but police later arrested Miles and Davis, saying it appears the shooting stemmed from a minor argument between the two. The 2 groups are not believed to know one another. Now, Miles's father, David Miles, made this post to his public Facebook account earlier today, thanking people for their support. He also wrote, "I know it's a daunting task, but if anyone that is a friend of Tracy, Darius, or mine that is financially capable to be in Tuscaloosa tomorrow when we go before the judge for support, it will be greatly appreciated." The father is known in the area as a basketball coach. We did go to his home to speak with David Miles, but he declined to comment. Attorneys for Darius Miles say the 20-year-old D.C. native maintains his innocence. Alabama's head coach said today that Miles had been out for a couple of weeks during the season and back in D.C. to deal with a separate personal matter. And then just Saturday, he was ruled out for the rest of the season for an ankle injury. Then he's arrested for the fatal shooting on Sunday. Miles dismissed from the team immediately after.
Talked to Darius's mother multiple times yesterday. Very hard situation on both accounts. So, we just continue to pray for Jamea and her family, although I didn't know them, but they're certainly in our thoughts and prayers, and continuing to pray for Darius's situation too. It's just an unfortunate incident that I wish we weren't having to deal with today.
As we're still trying to confirm if there is going to be a court hearing tomorrow. We also reached out to the other suspect's family. They declined to comment as well. We are told the 23-year-old killed Jamea Harris. She leaves behind a 5-year-old child. Back to you.
But this story is really about Jamea Harris, 23 years old and the mother of a young son named Cain. But for Miller's very questionable judgment and behavior, she would be alive today. Her son would not be without a mother. Former Alabama player Darius Miles is charged in the case, as is Miles' friend Michael Davis. But Miller played a key role. Remember Miller, one of the star freshmen in all of American basketball? Miller played a key role in the timeline of her shooting. Police say Miller drove Miles to a nightclub that night and left a gun in Miller's car. Later that night, late at night, Miles texted Miller to bring him the gun. He does. Miles then gives the gun to Davis, who allegedly shot Jamea. Nate Oates is the coach of Alabama. He says Miller was just in the wrong place at the wrong time and continues to start him, as you saw, which brought us to this moment, a horrific moment, over the weekend. Remember, they are patting down a guy who's accused of bringing the gun used in a murder to the murder scene. Poor taste does not even begin to describe what you are seeing here, and Alabama is getting rightfully shellacked 9 ways to Sunday. But Miller still plays. The coach still defends him. As I said, this shouldn't be about Miller. The story is really about Jamea Harris. DeCarla Hurd is Jamea's mother and joins us now. I appreciate you being with us, ma'am. I understand you have now custody of Cain, which is yes. Wonderful. We're glad to hear that. As you watch what's happened to Brandon Miller, as he's been continued to be deified as this hero of basketball, how do you feel?
I mean, it's painful to watch. I see it every day. It's on the news every day. I can't run from it. I mean, it's totally, we just feel so disrespected and just, it's just painful just to have to hear about it and see it. I mean, being in the state, you can't run from it. So, I mean, be it that we never heard from anybody from the University of Alabama. Nobody reached out.
Forgive me. The University of Alabama says they're taking the case and the investigation very seriously, and you never heard from anybody.
No.
How does that make you feel?
I mean, it's sickening. And even the fact that my niece that was there goes to the University of Alabama. She's a student there. And they have just totally just dismissed our family like we don't exist. And it's painful to have to watch this every day. And like I said, we live in Alabama. We can't run from it. We hear the news and about basketball every day, and we just feel totally just disrespected and dismissed.
I just want to be clear. When you say you hear the news, you're hearing not about Brandon Miller and the investigation. Right. You're hearing about Brandon Miller, the hero, the basketball star.
Absolutely.
What he's doing. But for Brandon Miller's actions, which the police say they have no way of charging him with anything, would your daughter be alive?
Absolutely, she would. If there was no gun, there would be no crime. She would be here.
Yeah.
He brought the gun to the scene. So if he hadn't have come or even bothered to ask, what does he want the gun for, she would still be here.
Yeah, I want to play for you, and I know this is going to be hard, but what the Alabama athletic director said about their decisions regarding Brandon Miller. So this is the athletic director. The decision conceivably would rest with him, and if the chancellor wanted to overrule him, he could. Here's the athletic director explaining their decisions.
What I have tried to think about this entire time is let's do what we think is right. What I felt is that Brandon needed to be treated fairly like any other student athlete, what should be. That's here at the University of Alabama. And that's what's been driving us through that, whether it was him or whether it was a student athlete on any other team.
Student athlete in any other team, forget treating him just like any other student or like just a human being. Your niece, you said, goes to the University of Alabama. If the positions were reversed, if Brandon Miller was not some huge star,
Right.
Would they be doing the same thing?
Absolutely not. He would probably be expelled and escorted off campus. If it was any other student, they would absolutely hold him.
As you've just seen and heard, this case is about more than the arrests and the charges. It's about a life that was taken, a family that was shattered, and a community left asking why. Jamea Harris was 23 years old. She worked hard at Amazon. She was raising her son, Kane, who was just 5 years old at the time. She had graduated from Winona High School and was building a future. That night, she was simply visiting family and grabbing food with her boyfriend near the University of Alabama campus. Two men, Darius Miles and Michael Lynn Davis, approached her. They flirted. She set a boundary. She said she had a boyfriend. And they responded with violence. Both men are now facing capital murder charges. They're being held without bond. University of Alabama head coach Nate Oates released a statement calling it a tragedy all around. And it is. But let's be clear about what this tragedy is really about. Jamea Harris died because she said no. She was killed for exercising her right to reject unwanted attention. Her son will grow up without his mother. Her family is left with grief and a long fight for justice. This case forces us to confront something uncomfortable. Women are harmed, and sometimes killed, for setting boundaries. This isn't rare. It happens far too often. And it needs to stop. We need to have honest conversations about respect, about entitlement, about how rejection is not an insult. We need to teach our sons that no is not negotiable. We need to support our daughters in trusting their instincts and prioritizing their safety. What do you think needs to change to prevent tragedies like this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this story moved you, hit that like button and share this video. Jamea's story deserves to be heard. Jamea's mother has been vocal about seeking justice for her daughter. She wants the world to know who Jamea was, not just how she died, but how she lived. Jamea was a loving mother. She was kind. She was hardworking. She had dreams. She deserved to watch her son grow up. She deserved to live. Rest in peace, Jamea Jonae Harris. Your story will not be forgotten. Thank you for watching True Crime Tower. If you want to stay updated on cases like this, subscribe and turn on notifications. We'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there.